Man-Made Mastering started, I think, around 2006 with Tim living in Brooklyn, New York, basically funding the company, funding the name, kind of. And then after his move, we teamed up in like 2009, 2010. And now we are here in Kreuzberg running the studio with 2 studios.
You look into the eyes of a focused mind, no inflated ego.
Here at Man-Made Mastering we have 2 rooms. They were both designed by Thomas Chourangian from Northwood Acoustics, but the acoustic concept is different. So this one is what he calls a front-to-back room, which means you have an environment with a glass front wall, and the speakers are soffit mount into the glass, decoupled from the room. And the task is that the glass, which is a very reflective surface, doesn't see the information which is coming from the speakers. So all frequencies, all energy needs to be absorbed, so it doesn't reflect back into the room and against the glass.
It's your insecurity that ruins everything.
It's both like floating rooms decoupled from the building. And the other room looks different. It doesn't have this front to back concept, although there's also soffit mount speakers in a glass wall. But how the energy distributed from the speakers is treated inside the room with different acoustic elements is different.
Can't you see her integrity? Listen to the science. Listen to this woman, she's a friend.
Both rooms are very, very precise. Very often we master music here and then we bring it to the other room, so we have a second reference in a different acoustic environment. We do little test cuts and see if all the parameters are right, if the level is right. We basically like the result before we run a master cut and compare them to the digital source. And the room makes it very easy also to decide what flaws or what transformations you want to accept and what not.
We definitely have our sound and we share similar ideals, sonic ideals and how things should sound and the end product, etc., etc. So we've always offered mastering for technically analog mastering for digital and online sales, as well as the cutting of the master lacquers for vinyl. And we try to press it upon our clients that they should master and cut under the same roof.
We're always trying to improve the tools we are using, and the tools can be our ears, it can be the equipment we are using, the cutting lathe we're using, but also the room we're using. So I strongly believe you can only be as good as an engineer as the tools you use. If the acoustic environment has an impact on the sound, it's similar as if you would use a compressor or an equalizer with tubes or transformers, which puts some color on the recording. This room doesn't do it. This room has no color, no impact on the sound. It's a so-called non-existing environment. And we only hear what's in the production, what's in the music. And I think that's became our specialty, and also to offer it to the underground market. You know, there is studios around like this, but most of them are just out of reach budget-wise for the underground music scene. And we're coming both from the underground music scene. It's kind of my passion. And our idea was, hey, if we make a move and if we build new studios, maybe we can do it in a way so we can offer it to the underground music scene what makes it special.
We definitely have the computers populated with internal digital tools, for sure. We mainly use Sequoia for mastering. We're also using iZotope RX for sample rate conversion, different file digital work. There's also a large variety of plugins. Usually I'll test a plugin for a week to see how I like it. For me, there's digital conditioning to the music. So I'm either doing deductive work, so reducing or suppressing frequencies before the signal reaches the outboard gear. So it's like a kind of digital softening, which is more active in the digital realm, and you can achieve more of a suppression and pushing back frequencies that aren't appealing, resonances and so on and so forth. This is pre the analog signal chain. Everything is recorded in a full duplex back to DAW format. So after the digital and then analog processing, we're recording back to DAW and creating the master with dynamics intact. However, now it's a special little snowflake that's gone through all of its processing, and the rest after that is just digital finalizing before the project or the product goes to the client. Our motto here is man-made mastering, mastered by humans. Just because I know if I wanted someone to work on my music, I'm not just going to upload it. I prefer the one to be using the AI tools rather than letting the AI do the work. Do you know what I mean? So I can run analysis and then the AI tool can show me where I can boost or suppress. So that's helpful. But this whole automated thing, I'm not into that. I think it's all done within the digital domain and it's automated. I mean, that's fine, it can work. It just doesn't have that human, the Midas touch.